Hi, Olympia. Today we are talking about the May 21st, 2024 Olympia City Council meeting, which was one of the more manageable, shorter ones we've had in a while.
Yes, but first we need to find out what happens to us because we didn't make it in 10 minutes last week.
Yeah, I was hoping we were going to forget about that one.
Yeah, unfortunately not. And Jay, our city manager, sent down his representative.
He also sent a message. He watched last week. It was a monumental council meeting. We did have a lot of important stuff to cover. We are a forgiving organization, and he is a forgiving boss. But 10 does mean 10, right? And this is just a little reminder of the name of the show, our promise to the city in recapping the show. And so with that.
Apparently this is Council in 10.
For the record, I'm Kellie Purse-Brossett.
And I'm Susan Grisham.
If this is your first time joining us for Council in 10, this is our attempt to recap the council meeting that happened the night before in under 10 minutes.
Think of it as a tasting menu for the council meeting.
Yeah, we better be on our game today because I don't want this to happen twice in a row. And as they say in 70s television, don't do the crime if you can't do the time. Susan, hit the button.
Okay, so we started the meeting as we usually do with roll call. Councilmember Vanderpool and Councilmember Cooper were both excused from the meeting.
And we had announcements, which were kind of fun because Thurston County has a brand new county manager. His name is Leonard Hernandez, and he came to council with his lovely family. He's got some really cute kids, and introduced himself and talked about his love for the community. He's discovering things like the farmers market and all our amenities. He talked about how much he appreciated meeting and working with our city manager, Jay, and the council members all welcomed him and his family to Olympia. There was just sort of a nice solidifying of regional partnerships right there.
Yeah, it was wonderful. Then we moved on to special recognition. So Mayor Pro Tem Nguyen read a proclamation recognizing Olympia Heritage Month. So each May, the city recognizes Heritage Month in Olympia to just celebrate our local history and the rich heritage that we have.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. And then we had a public comment. We only had one public commenter, only one person in person, no one online. This particular commenter was someone who rents and had come to council with their concern about a recent notice of a rent increase they got, especially in light of the new renter protection rules. Council listened to them, staff, and connected them with staff who are helping them out, and also helping them connect with support for rental protection, for rental support as well. So, and after that, we launched into, after consent calendar, we launched into other business, and the big ticket item on there was around neighborhood centers. So a good long conversation around neighborhood centers by a staff member, or one of our associate planners in community planning and development, Casey Schaffler, and with him were some consultants that have been working on a report, Brian Vanneman from Leland Consulting and Rachel Miller from Makers, and she's an urban planner. So neighborhood centers are really interesting. They've been on our comprehensive plan since 2014, so they've been around for a while. Neighborhood centers are supposed to be these small, walkable little business centers in the heart of a neighborhood that neighbors can go to, and sort of makes the neighborhood more vibrant and livable. Unfortunately, they needed to figure out why that concept wasn't thriving over the last 20 years. So they did some public outreach and did an analysis, looked at policy, and their basic finding was that neighborhood centers were on the struggle bus because of our very own codes. It turns out that the neighborhood centers that were thriving were ones that had small commercial activity in or around them. Think of like the San Francisco Bakery.
Or Wildwood.
Or Wildwood, in the Wildwood neighborhood. And unfortunately, our own codes don't support that sort of thing happening in neighborhoods. So one of their recommendations was to look at how we support things like business activity happening organically in a neighborhood where maybe they renovate an existing building and a house turns into a bakery or a coffee shop, or an old gas station gets renovated into a convenience store or something like that. So they had a good conversation with the consultants and council around that. They also recommended, there are 12 neighborhood centers throughout the city. They, in their assessment, there are a couple of them that they recommended dropping, and also they also recommended exploring encouraging neighborhood centers in a couple of other areas, like the Swantown Inn area or Friendly Grove. This conversation around neighborhood centers had also been before the land use and the land use committee, and the chair gave a report about their kind of their perspective. Thank you. I needed that word. Their perspective on neighborhood centers, and they sort of landed in the same place that they want neighborhood centers. They want them to happen organically. So I thought it was really interesting that we took a look at something that wasn't working and spent the time to figure out why it wasn't working, because it seemed like such a cool idea. The other thing I personally liked about is that there was I just love little city nerd words that were popping up in there.
Nerd words, I love it.
Parklet and streeteries and things like that. So anyway.
So after that conversation, we moved on to approval of the proposed agenda location facilitator for our mid-year city council retreat. So in June of each year, the city council has a retreat to kind of check in on the goals that they set in January, check in on the work plan. So city manager Bernie shared the proposed agenda location and facilitator. So the council approved the location, which will be here at City Hall and council chambers. And the facilitator will be Amy Leneker, who facilitated the retreat in January. And then the agenda items include a discussion on the comprehensive plan, which is in the process of being updated, an update on 2024 work plan items, a deep dive discussion on budget, and they will also receive training on the city's equity framework. So this is a tool that staff use to inform their work to ensure equity is embedded in everything that we do. And so council was wanting to receive training on that tool so they could start applying it to their decision making as well. So the retreat will be on June 14th here at City Hall Council Chambers, so be there or be square.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
After that, council adjourned into a closed session around labor discussions and negotiation.
And that was it. We got out of there.
Yeah, we sure did at like 8:25, at least for us.
At least for us. I think that's it. Okay, we got minutes to spare. We did it this time. Good, because I do not want to be in this ridiculous getup.
Yeah, indeed. I like a hat, but this might be a little too much.
Yeah, I love a fascinator, but also the whole Flavor Flav thing.
Yes. Well, sometimes you got to tap into your inner Flavor Flav,
To your inner Flavor Flav, but maybe a little
A little much, yeah.
Little much, not quite going with my road row. So thank you for joining us. If you're watching us live, then you can stay tuned for the council meeting we just talked about, because that's going to be coming on. Or you can watch it or any of our other programs on demand anytime on olytv3.com.
And if you want to come here in person to watch a city council meeting, we're here most Tuesdays at 6 p.m. at City Hall and Council Chambers.
We will save a seat for you.
And with that,
We are
adjourned.